Welcome to 2012. I am Anders, and I am resuming my question answering. And I'm going to start off with a webcam question that comes from Patrick from Illinois. And here's the question.
Hey Anders, my name's Patrick. I'm from Illinois. I just had a random question. How do you deal with the haters? And people saying things like, "You're not in the band anymore, stop leeching off of them," or "stop talking about them," just crap like that, which you don't fucking deserve. I mean, you basically built the band. I mean, does it even bother you? Do you have to cope with it, or what's the deal with that?
Now, dealing with the haters. I'm still learning how to do that right now because I'm not used to having haters. But really, you know, the way I view it is just misunderstandings for the most part. I spent the last, 13, 14 years not talking about my affiliation with Slipknot. Other people did that for me. I didn't promote shows that we played as being an ex-member of Slipknot. I didn't do any of that, and but I've still been getting questions all these years, and finally just decided that I'm going to start answering them. And Painface didn't get back together until after I had already had this all in the works. So I just, ignore it for the most part. I'm not I'm not making money off of this stuff right now, so I'm not making any money off of Slipknot, and I never have, and I never will. So really, the way I deal with the haters is I try to explain my side of things. I'm just trying to promote my band right now, as well as answer a bunch of questions that people have wanted to know for years. I'd much rather answer questions about Painface and my current projects that I'm working on, but I also understand that I can provide a valuable service to a lot of the fans out there that have loved Slipknot, whether they like what we did with me in the band, or just if they just like what Corey's done. So I'm putting this all together so people can find answers to questions. We'll index all of these eventually, and if someone has any questions, they can just go, "Oh, okay, there's the answers." So I don't like people to hate me. I really don't. That's just not my personality. But people are going to think what they want to think, and really I just, this is for the people that don't hate my guts for some reason. People find out that I'm actually a really nice guy, and I try to go out of my way to help people. So the haters, they're just misunderstanding me and my situation. So thank you, Patrick. And we are shooting this in a higher resolution and high definition and so forth. This it's going to be a huge file by the time I'm done, so I am going to try to keep the questions to a minimum on this one, but we're going to probably start showing more than one episode a week. I'm thinking one on Sunday and one on Wednesday maybe. Anyway, this one here is from Finnur Christiansen from Iceland, one of my buddies. The Hammer of Thor necklace that I wear every once in a while, he sent that to me, and he's an administrator of mfkr1.com. Great guy. I recommend you check that site out, and that message board has lots of answers to questions also. But he asked, any onstage injuries back while I was in the band? Not so much, that you'd think that there were more, but Sean and I had a lot of collisions, but we're both big guys, so we just bounce off to each other, more often than not. We were actually one of the bands opening for a Junk Poet local band CD release party back in '96, I think. We were playing at Clearwater Beach here in Des Moines on a stage, and Paul about took my eyeball out with his headstock. I think I had a little bit too much to drink, so I was kind of floundering around. I usually flounder around anyway. And next thing you know, eyeball meets headstock, and my contact went flying. And I had to search around for it because, well, he don't have much money and contacts were expensive for me back then. So I found it and I stuck it in Craig's beer glass. And revived that sucker later, put it back in, I was good to go. But that was the closest thing to an actual injury other than, well, you know, things I used to do to myself with razor blades. But that's another story for another time. So thank you, Finner. Good dude. All right, now we're going to a guy who says, just call me Highlander. He goes, how do you feel about Paul's passing? Well, he was one of my best friends. What do I need to say there? Awful. I haven't really put any closure to that yet. I missed the funeral, didn't find out about it until about 4 hours after it was over, and it was pretty miserable for me, and it still is today. You know, I still haven't even seen his daughter, and so forth. So, yeah. Just think about losing one of your best friends. That's all there is to it. Anyway, thank you, Highlander. Now this next one is from a guy who goes by the name, well, as far as I know it's a guy, Marty, Hitd. This is off of YouTube. And he asks, why did you leave the band, by the way? Okay, here's a big one. A lot of people have asked this, and I've answered it a lot of times. And I've answered it in different ways too, because my mind has processed everything differently as the years go by, and you know, I don't have any angst or any regrets or any of that stuff now, because back then I couldn't have done anything different. You know, Corey came in and I took that as a pretty big shock, because they everybody knows this. He's a singer, I'm a screamer yeller, and that's what Roadrunner was wanting. They wanted radio ability, and that's what Corey gave him, and it just was done so behind my back and so forth. I gave it 2 months, and then it just kept eating away at me, and you know, I got bored just beating on drums. You know, had become a lead singer, and then I felt like I was demoted to percussionist, and it felt all wrong to me at that point. So I made my exit. Shaved my eyebrows off for the last show. Didn't tell anybody I was going to quit. And then right before we ended the show with Heartache and a pair of scissors, I let everybody know. And afterwards, Jim Root came up and gave me a big hug. It was kind of funny. This was when he after Stone Sour had disbanded, because Corey joined Slipknot, and anyway, that's why I quit. You know, I couldn't go on feeling like that. I felt like I was being ground up on the inside every time we got together, and I felt like the band was no longer mine anymore. You know, every band I'm in, I consider to be mine as well as everybody else in the band. It's just take ownership for something, and then you know, you're more responsible for it. But anyway, Marty, thank you for asking that question and so forth. All right, this will be the last one for this little session, and then I'm going to record a bunch more of these. I'm keeping them short, like I said, so I can get them uploaded, okay? And this is kind of a big question from Natalia Freitas, Freitas. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. I hope that's right. And she's from Brazil. Got a lot of fans in Brazil. I love Brazil. Would love to go visit there sometime. Her question is, if I were responsible for a big music festival, what 5 bands would I choose for the main stage, and why? Okay. Well, first, Slipknot. I mean, that's best live show there is, as far as I'm concerned. You know, the live show is as much about the performance and everything going on around it, as well as the music and the people in the band. You know, it's just an overall thing, and Slipknot has one hell of a live show, as if you guys didn't already know that. Number 2, Dax Riggs. He's been my inspiration ever since I first heard Acid Bath back in '95, and he's my favorite singer of all time, favorite lyricist. The guy's dark, He's weird. Little guy. It's kind of cool because I hadn't seen him for like 15 years, and all of a sudden he's started making a circuit coming through Des Moines, so I get to see him in a local club about once a year. That's pretty cool. 3, Clutch. Clutch is one of my top 3 favorite bands of all time. They got their own thing, and every album is a little different, and it's more in one way or another. They just rock. Well, I mean, what can I say? Clutch is awesome to me. 4, Rocco DeLuca and the Burden. I can't really explain it, but this guy just kicks ass. I don't know if it's because he plays a dobro and plays a lot of slide guitar with black fingernail polish on, but he kicks ass. Even his sappy love songs, he's just an incredible singer and guitar player. Nothing metal about it. It's all rootsy sort of music, but he would be definitely one of them. And number 5, Painface. You know, my entire life is invested into whatever music I'm doing at whatever time, you know, and you know, if I'm in charge of the festival, we're playing, and that's just all there is to it. But anyway, I'm going to sew this up for now. Those are the 5 for my festival, and it would be an interesting show indeed. So anyway, I'm going to get some more of these going, and I invite you guys to go check out Rocco DeLuca, Dax Riggs, Clutch, if you haven't heard them. All of those bands are just awesome. At least they kind of form up what my musical landscape is like inside my head. But anyway, you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you later. Anders out.
So